For 6 years, she did everything the internet told her to do for her heels, and every single night, they looked exactly the same. Her name, for the purposes of this video, is Roberta Sledge. She's 61, a retired school librarian in Norman, Oklahoma, and for most of her 60s, she'd resigned herself to cracked, painful heels she assumed were simply a fact of getting older. She applied lotion faithfully every night before bed, the way every article told her to. Every morning, the skin looked exactly as rough as it had the night before. She'd tried a cuticle softener once, and a metal grater she'd read about online, both with results she described as barely noticeable for the effort involved. By winter, she'd stopped wearing anything but closed shoes entirely, embarrassed by feet she felt didn't belong in sandals or even in soft socks around family during the holidays. She found one of our videos scrolling late one evening, and what changed things wasn't the video itself. It was a comment underneath it from another woman describing almost her exact routine, failure for failure. The same faithful nightly lotion, the same disappointing results, the same growing resignation. That woman had found her answer in a specific combination most people never try together: a proper Nano File used right after a shower, followed immediately by a dense, occlusive healing ointment while the skin was still slightly damp. Roberta ordered both that same week. She told me the dead, cracked skin came away from the file in a way 6 years of lotion alone had never managed, and the ointment afterwards sealed in moisture the lotion alone had simply been sitting on top of, never actually reaching. Within 2 weeks, her heels looked, in her words, like she'd just come from a proper pedicure. She mentioned something else in her message that stayed with me. An old book she still owns from her decades in the school library, once used to teach children manners, hygiene, and social conduct back in the 1950s. She said our channel reminded her of it, that grooming used to be taught as a form of self-respect, not vanity. And somewhere along the way, that lesson simply stopped being passed down. A podiatrist I consulted for this video told me something that reframed the whole thing for me. Good feet, she said, are rarely about luck or genetics alone. They're about a woman deciding her own comfort is worth maintaining, especially in the months nobody else is checking, and especially when no one would ever notice the difference either way. Roberta wears sandals again now, even into early autumn, and stopped hiding her feet at family gatherings the way she had for years. That's what I want you to hold on to today, because habit 4 on this list is the one detail almost nobody outside a podiatrist's office actually knows, and it has nothing to do with moisturizer at all. Before we get into it, I have something for you. The same document that helped Roberta rebuild her own routine from scratch. It's called the Elegant Morning Routine Checklist, 12 rituals sophisticated women use to protect their presence, their energy, and how they carry themselves daily. Free, no catch, linked below this video. My name is 𝐈𝐈𝐅𝐓. Every week, I bring this community the information that nobody else is willing to say plainly. That community is called the Undeniables. If you are new here, subscribe right now. You belong here, and drop the city you are watching from in the comments below. I am always down there reading. I want to know where my fellow undeniables are. Now, let's get into it. 1. She exfoliates heels with an actual tool, not lotion alone. I've watched women apply lotion nightly for years, faithfully, and wonder why cracked heels never fully resolve, when lotion alone was never designed to remove the dead, thickened skin causing the cracking in the first place. The American Podiatric Medical Association has long recommended mechanical exfoliation, using a proper foot file rather than sharp blades or graters, as the necessary first step before any moisturizer can actually reach living skin underneath. Roberta had used lotion alone for 6 full years with no improvement. Switching to a proper Nano File used right after showering, when skin is softened, changed her results within 2 applications, something 6 years of moisturizer alone had never managed. This is one of 30 days inside the Undeniables complete system. The guide Roberta went on to work through once the checklist proved there was real substance behind it. And if you're planning to stay through this video, subscribe now, because next week I'm covering the exact winter footwear mistakes that quietly undo months of careful foot care in a single season. 2. She seals moisture in with an occlusive, not just a lotion on top. I've watched women layer expensive lotion onto dry, cracked skin and wonder why it seems to simply sit there rather than absorb, when standard lotion often lacks the density needed to actually seal moisture into severely dry skin. Research published in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology has documented that dense, occlusive ointments applied to slightly damp skin are significantly more effective at repairing a compromised skin barrier than standard lotions applied to dry skin alone. Roberta added a thick healing ointment immediately after her shower, while her skin was still damp, rather than a lotion applied to dry skin at bedtime. She says her heels held moisture through an entire day for the first time in years. 3. She soaks weekly, not as an occasional treat. I've watched women reserve a proper foot soak for special occasions, treating it as indulgence rather than routine, when a warm soak performed consistently softens skin far more effectively than one done sporadically before an event. A podiatrist I consulted for this video recommends a warm soak with Epsom salt weekly, not monthly, specifically because consistent softening makes every subsequent exfoliation step meaningfully more effective than starting from fully hardened skin each time. Roberta had soaked her feet perhaps twice a year, before weddings or big events. She started soaking every Sunday evening instead, treating it as routine maintenance rather than occasional pampering. She says the file removes far less resistant, far less painful skin now. 4. She skips nail polish through the winter months. Here's the habit I promised you. I've watched women keep polish on continuously through winter, assuming it protects nails from the cold, when unbroken polish actually conceals early signs of fungal changes, discoloration, or circulation issues for months at a time. The American Podiatric Medical Association specifically recommends periodic polish-free stretches, particularly through winter when feet are covered most consistently, so early changes in the nail bed can actually be seen before they progress further. Roberta wore polish year-round for decades without exception. She started leaving her toenails bare each winter specifically to monitor them. She caught early discoloration on one toe last January that a podiatrist confirmed was easily treatable, precisely because she saw it in time. 5. She dries thoroughly between every toe every time. I've watched women towel dry their feet quickly, hitting the tops and soles, while leaving moisture trapped between the toes. Exactly the environment fungal infections need to establish themselves undisturbed. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention specifically identifies lingering moisture between the toes as a primary contributor to fungal infections, recommending thorough drying in that specific area after every single shower, not just a general pass with a towel. Roberta used to dry quickly and move on, never separating her toes deliberately. She now spends an extra 15 seconds drying between each one after every shower. She hasn't had a single fungal concern since making that one small adjustment. 6. She rotates warm indoor slippers instead of going barefoot on cold floors. I've watched women go barefoot on cold hardwood or tile through winter, assuming socks alone protect the skin, when repeated exposure to cold, hard surfaces actually dries and cracks heel skin faster than warmer conditions typically do. A podiatrist I know has told me cold exposure constricts circulation to the feet specifically, slowing the skin's natural repair process and making winter heels measurably more prone to cracking than the same feet in warmer months. Roberta used to go barefoot around her house through the coldest months, priding herself on toughness. She switched to a supportive indoor slipper instead. Her heel cracking through this past winter was, by her own account, the mildest she'd experienced in years. 7. She trims nails straight across, never rounded at the edges. I've watched women round the corners of their toenails to match a more polished look, unaware that rounded edges are the single most common cause of an ingrown toenail, a painful and entirely preventable condition. The American Podiatric Medical Association has recommended straight-across trimming for decades, specifically to prevent this exact problem, noting that the aesthetic preference for rounded edges causes a disproportionate share of the ingrown nail cases they see. Roberta had rounded her nail edges her entire life without ever knowing the connection. She switched to straight-across trimming 2 years ago. She hasn't had an ingrown nail since, after dealing with one nearly every winter for over a decade before that. 8. She knows when a professional visit matters more than a home routine. I've watched women attempt to manage every foot concern themselves indefinitely, even when a nail, callus, or patch of skin clearly needs attention beyond what any home routine can safely address. The American Diabetes Association specifically recommends regular professional foot examinations for anyone managing diabetes, noting that circulation and nerve changes can mask developing problems, a woman might otherwise never notice on her own until it's advanced. Roberta isn't diabetic, but she started scheduling a professional pedicure every few months specifically for a trained eye on anything her own routine might miss. A technician caught early signs of a fungal nail last spring, treated before it ever became visible to Roberta herself. 9. She moisturizes the sole, not only the top of the foot. I've watched women apply cream generously to the tops and sides of their feet while almost entirely neglecting the sole itself, the exact surface bearing weight, friction, and the most direct exposure to dryness all day long. A dermatologist I consulted for this video notes that the sole's skin structure is considerably thicker and drier than the rest of the foot, requiring deliberate, direct application rather than the incidental coverage it typically gets when cream is applied elsewhere first. Roberta used to apply cream to the tops of her feet and assumed the rest would benefit indirectly. She started applying directly to her soles every night specifically. That single adjustment, she says, made a more noticeable difference than any product switch she'd made before it. 10. She changes into dry socks the moment her feet feel damp. I've watched women wear the same socks through an entire cold, damp day, from a morning walk through hours indoors, unaware that trapped moisture against the skin for extended periods is one of the most common preventable causes of cracked, irritated winter feet. A podiatrist I know recommends carrying a spare pair of socks through the coldest months, specifically changing the moment feet feel even slightly damp, rather than waiting until the end of the day to address it. Roberta started keeping a spare pair in her bag through the winter months, changing at the first sign of dampness after being outside. She says her feet have stayed noticeably more comfortable through an entire cold season for the first time in years. Roberta still owns that old book from her library days, and now keeps it on a shelf near her bathroom, not out of nostalgia, but as a reminder. She went on to complete the Undeniable's complete system, not because 10 habits fixed 6 years of neglect overnight, but because that first small success proved her comfort had been worth maintaining the entire time. Here is what every one of these habits has in common, Roberta. None of them required good genetics, and none of them required luck. They required a woman deciding, deliberately, that her own comfort mattered enough to maintain in the months nobody else was checking. The parts of you no one sees are still worth the standard. Pick 3 habits from this list to practice for the next 14 days. Not 10, 3. Then come back and comment, I practiced this, this, and this. Tell me what shifted. Or send me an email. I read every one. If this video gave you something worth having, subscribing costs you nothing and means everything to this community. There's a video on your screen right now that I'd recommend you watch next. It goes even deeper into the habits we only touched on today. Until next time, to every woman watching, you are not here by accident. You are an undeniable. Act like it. Isabel?